You ever get rejected so hard it rewrites your entire destiny? Yeah, that's basically EJ's story, except instead of crying into instant noodles, she turned that rejection into record-breaking history. A decade of training, a crushing "you're too old" from one of Korea's biggest entertainment giants, and then boom, she helps create one of Netflix's biggest cultural explosions, K-pop Demon Hunters. This is how one rejected K-pop trainee flipped the script and made music history in 10 game-changing moments. Number 1. The 3-year-old with a mic and a dream. Before she could even spell auto-tune, little Kim Yoon-jae was belting K-pop songs around the house. Her uncle joked, "You should be a singer." Spoiler alert, he wasn't joking. She practiced daily, obsessively, like a mini vocal machine with zero chill. But every dreamer needs a stage, and hers came calling earlier than anyone expected. Number 2. The SM Entertainment Golden Ticket. At age 11, EJ got the kind of call that makes parents cry, friends jealous, and every aspiring idol drop their jaw. SM Entertainment wanted her. Now, if you're not deep in K-pop lore, let me explain. Getting into SM is like being drafted to the Avengers of pop music, except instead of fighting villains, you're battling vocal runs, dance routines, and your own sleep schedule. SM was the kingdom that built legends. BoA, SS, Shinhwa, names every trainee whispered like holy scripture. So imagine being 11, walking into that building with wide eyes and ponytails, surrounded by mirrors, choreographers, and dreams that smelled like sweat and hairspray. And from that moment, EJ wasn't just a kid anymore. She was a project. Her days became a remix of grind and glitter, dance practice till her knees gave up, vocal training that made breathing optional, language lessons so she could sing Heartbreak in 3 dialects, and media training, because idols don't just sing, they sparkle on cue. It was basically K-pop Hogwarts, if Hogwarts handed out protein shakes instead of wands. But here's the kicker. Behind the lights and the rehearsals, there's a darker side no one puts on Instagram. Trainees weren't competing for grades, they were competing for existence. Every evaluation, every monthly showcase, every micro mistake could decide your future. One wrong move, one off note, one missed beat, and poof, gone. EJ spent her entire adolescence in that pressure cooker, out dancing, out singing, and outlasting hundreds of trainees, all chasing the same dream. And even though the debut call never came, she held on, because in K-pop, hope is currency, and EJ was still rich in it. But here's the cruel truth about chasing perfection. The longer you chase it, the older you get. And in the K-pop world, time isn't money. It's a ticking bomb. Number 3. The idol dream that never debuted. Despite a decade of brutal training, EJ never debuted. She watched her peers, the future girls' generation, go from dance studios to stardom while she stood still. Then came the final blow. SM dropped her. The reason? She was too old at 23. Imagine training your whole life only to get ghosted by your own dream, but instead of fading out, EJ hit the remix button. Number 4. The New York Reset. She moved to New York, enrolled at NYU's Tisch School, and started studying how music really works, as both art and business. It was like therapy with better background music. That's where she found SoundCloud, the wild west of raw creativity. And suddenly, her world cracked open, because when the K-pop system said no, SoundCloud said upload it. Number 5. The SoundCloud Scientist. EJ started teaching herself Ableton, experimenting with beats, samples, and synths. For the first time, she wasn't performing someone else's song, she was creating her own. And what started as healing became habit. But you know what they say, when you create long enough in silence, eventually, someone hears you. Number 6. The comeback nobody saw coming. Word got back to Korea about a former SM trainee with Melody Magic. Producers started sliding into her inbox. Then came her mentor, songwriter Andrew Choi, who invited her to a writing camp. Guess where it was? SM Entertainment. Talk about full circle. She went in with Heartbreak and walked out with a global hit. Number 7. The Psycho Breakthrough. On her first day back at SM, she channeled pure emotion from a fight with her fiancé and wrote Psycho. 2 years later, Red Velvet dropped it, and the world lost its mind. Gold certified in the US, streamed worldwide, and suddenly everyone wanted to know who wrote this. Answer: the girl they once called too old. But EJ wasn't done. She was about to build a whole empire, one hook at a time. Number 8. The hidden architect of K-pop. While the rest of the world was obsessing over who performed the hits, EJ was quietly becoming the one who built them. She wasn't on the posters or the TikTok trends. She was in the background, architecting soundtracks to global obsession. If K-pop were a luxury mansion, EJ was the unseen designer who built the floor plan, laid the foundation, and picked the color of the walls. After Psycho blew up, her inbox didn't just get busy, it went nuclear. Producers, labels, and idols who once wouldn't have remembered her name were now fighting to get her melodies. Her phone became a hotline for hitmaking. She started writing for Twice, aespa, Le Seraphim, and more. The literal Mount Rushmore of 4th gen K-pop. Each group had its own flavor, but EJ knew how to bottle lightning for all of them. You want sparkle and sass? She's got it. Dark cinematic girl boss energy? Done. A heartbreak anthem disguised as a club banger? Please. That's her signature. And it didn't stop at K-pop. EJ's music crossed universes. Literally. She began writing for League of Legends and Mobile Legends, crafting epic anthems that millions of gamers now hum while clicking Respawn. Her music became a bridge, connecting fantasy worlds, digital idols, and real-world fans under one melody. What's wild is that the very skills she was once rejected for, her perfectionism, her emotional fluency, her deep understanding of idol psychology, became her secret weapon. Because EJ didn't just know how to write a hit, she knew how to write one that feels like home to an idol, something they could live inside on stage. In an industry obsessed with faces, EJ became the invisible force behind the fame. She was the ghostwriter of your favorite chorus, the architect of your dopamine hit, the genius you never saw in the spotlight, until her sound made her impossible to ignore. And just when it seemed like she had conquered every studio in Seoul, a call came from somewhere no one expected: Netflix. And what happened next? Well, that turned her story into legend. Number 9. The Netflix power move. Director Maggie Kang wanted authentic K-pop soul for her animated film K-pop Demon Hunters. EJ's demos were so good, they literally helped get the movie greenlit. But then came the twist. The directors didn't just want her songs, they wanted her voice. That's right, she became the singing voice of Rumi, the film's lead idol turned demon slayer. The girl who couldn't debut, just headlined Netflix's biggest K-pop story ever. Number 10. The Redemption Anthem. 7 songs from the film charted on the Billboard Hot 100, 4 hit the top 10, and Golden, performed by EJ, sat at number 1 for 6 straight weeks. Her rejection turned into a revolution, proving that sometimes failure's just your origin story in disguise. And that's the real flex, turning pain into platinum. EJ's story isn't just about K-pop, it's about refusing to let anyone decide when your time is up. So the next time someone tells you you're too late, remember, EJ was just getting started. If this story hits you like a high note, smash that like button, subscribe for more wild music journeys, and drop an emoji in the comments for EJ's redemption arc. Remember, being rejected doesn't mean you're finished. Sometimes it's just your pre-chorus before the drop.